it's Jaxson from Boardstore. Today, going to show you how to put in some skateboard rails. Why would you skateboard rails? 4 things: slide, strength, ease, and grip. You get a good grip on the edge. So you can do grabs and all sorts of fly out trickery. So things you'll need to mount skateboard rails: you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. All sets of skateboard rails are going to have Phillips head hardware. You're either going to want a standard Phillips head screwdriver or a Phillips head drill bit in a power drill. A ruler is going to be good to mark them out, so you know where your rails are going to sit. If you're going to get wheel bar, if it's going to scrub on the middle of your deck, and then you're obviously going to need a set of skateboard rails. I ride the rib bones one. I found that they last the longest. They slide the best on pretty much anything, especially concrete actually. They're also pretty bendy, so if you need to mount them on your board so it goes around the graphic, they're nice and flexible so you can bend them into shape. And oh yeah, you're gonna need a deck. It doesn't have to be a new deck. You can mount rails to an old deck. When mounting your rails, it's generally better not to have the trucks on. Then you don't have trucks and wheels and all this kind of business getting in your way. You don't have to maneuver a screwdriver around them or a drill bit. It's easier if you have no trucks on your board. If you just gripped it up, or even before you've gripped it, it's a good time to put the rails on. Once you've got your rails, open the pack. Don't lose any of the screws because you'll need all of them. Get down on your board, assess the concave. Try to figure out where your rails are going to go. Ideally, you want to mount it closer to the edge rather than in the middle. The concave will determine where you can mount them without getting scrapes down the middle. So you get your ruler, you place it down in the middle of your board. You'll be able to see either side how much room you have to mount your rails. If you have really tall rails, you'll have more room. But if you have really skinny rails, really low profile ones, you'll have to mount them close to the board. If you have a deck with extremely deep concave, you'll need to mount them close to the middle of the deck. If you have a deck with a mellower concave, something nice and flat, then you can mount them pretty much anywhere you want. You can almost mount them directly on the edge. Another thing to consider when mounting the rails, you don't want the rails to be too close, and you especially don't want them to be underneath your wheels. If you have your rails mounted underneath your wheels or close to your wheels, you'll end up getting wheel bite on them. That's not going to allow you to turn very much. So once you're happy with the positioning of your rails, you want to go screw them in, right? I like to start from the middle out and work my way out because I like bending my rails to fit the board, fit the graphic, so it looks good. If you want straight rails, you don't want any bumps, any wobbles in there. If you want them dead straight, mount them from the outside in. So you're going to want to mount the 2 outside screws first and then work your way into the middle. That'll keep the rails nice and straight. You keep nice parallel lines down your board, it's not going to look weird. If you use a power drill, get them started with a power drill and then you can finish them off by hand. Alright, so once you've screwed your rails in, you're going to want to make sure they're flush with the bottom of your board. You're going to want to make sure there's no light coming in from underneath your rails when you hold it up. Any gaps between your rails and the board is gonna lead to rattles down the path, and that's probably the most frustrating thing if you ride rails. It's having one that's having a rattly rail. Your board sounds terrible, people can hear you coming. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. And that is how you put skateboard rails on a deck. That's how you get rad. For more videos from us, be sure to subscribe. Follow our socials, Instagram, Facebook. Check out Boardstore blog. Or for other rad skateboard products like these rails, head to boardstore.com.au.